Yo, what is going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the MLB slate on DraftKings for Monday, April 30th. We have 10 games tonight on the main slate. Didn't make any videos this weekend and kind of just took the weekend off, but we're back today breaking down this 10-game slate. We'll talk about some pitchers we want to target, some of the bats, some hitters we want to target. Of course, I'll give my 5 plays. And then towards the end, we'll talk about BVP plays, some stacks to go to as well. But before we do get started, guys, make sure you drop a like on the video. I would really appreciate it. And if you are new to the channel and you have not clicked that subscribe button yet, make sure you subscribe down below so that way you won't miss out on any of my new videos. But yeah, pitcher today, up top, looking at the pitchers over 10K on this slate, we have Zack Greinke, Charlie Morton, and Jake Arrieta. I do like paying up for one of these guys. I like Jake Arrieta today here against the Marlins. This is a great matchup. The Marlins, they're just not a good team offensively. Not a lot of good bats in their lineup. They will strike out. It's a great ballpark for pitchers as well, being played in Marlins Park. Their ballpark, very spacious, very good for hitters. Big ballpark, or very good for pitchers, big ballpark. So I like this spot for Arrieta. I think he can rack up strikeouts here versus this lineup. There are definitely strikeouts in this lineup. Maybe not towards the top, but when you get towards the bottom, a lot of these hitters just aren't very imposing. And being in the National League, obviously you'll get to face the pitcher as well. So I think this is a spot where Arrieta can have a lot of success. I would much rather have him over the other expensive pitchers on this slate, like Zack Greinke against the Dodgers. I think that's a scary matchup. Same with Charlie Morton against the Yankees. That's kind of a scary matchup as well. This matchup with the Marlins for Arrieta is not very scary for me. I like this matchup a lot. So I like Arrieta 10-9. Somewhat expensive, but I think you can fit him in easily. There's some value hitters on this slate that I do like. And then if we want to look at SP2 for today, there's an SP2 that I like that's somewhat expensive, but I think is a really good option here. Has a lot of upside. Jeff Samardzija, I think is a good play today at 8,700 against the Padres. I'm going to be targeting pitchers against the Padres all year. I've been doing it since the beginning of the year. Not going to stop now. They're a team that is just not a very good offensive team. They have strikeouts in their lineup, and especially here versus this team in AT&T Park in the Giants ballpark. That's one of the best pitchers' park to pitch in. It's just such a big ballpark. It's hard to hit home runs there, and it's just really good for pitchers. So I like Samardzija here. I think he can rack up strikeouts against this team and really just limit the damage. I don't think this is a team that you're ever going to be scared of going up against. You never see the Padres have really high run totals or really just put up a lot of runs on pitchers. So I like Samardzija here. I think this is a spot where we see him get, I would say, at least 20 DraftKings points. He's had 2 kind of rough starts this year. Against the Angels, he was okay. Got 19 DraftKings points, pitched 5 innings, got a win. Only allowed 2 hits and 4 walks, just got 4 strikeouts. Then against Washington, really got blown up, allowing 6 runs through 3 2/3 innings with 8 hits. In that game, he only finished with -4 DraftKings points. But like I said, I think we see Samardzija bounce back here. 8,700, that seems expensive to pay for him, especially since he hasn't really been that great this year. But I think we see Samardzija really get things going in this matchup. So I like him as an SP2 option. And then if we want to look at the other SP2s, just talking about the expensive pitchers first, I'm not really going to be paying up for Morton or Greinke on the slate. If I'm going 10K and above, for me, it's just pretty much Jake Arrieta. That's the only guy I'm really targeting in that price range. But then there are a lot of other SP2s if you don't want to go to Samardzija. I think Jameson Taillon could definitely be an interesting play here against the Nationals. This Nationals team definitely has strikeouts in their lineup, especially towards the top with like Trey Turner, Howie Kendrick. If you want to look towards the bottom of that lineup, there are strikeouts there with Michael Taylor, the pitcher, obviously. There is some power in this lineup with Bryce Harper, with Matt Adams, but definitely strikeouts as well. So I do like Taillon here. I think he's a pivot away from Samardzija. I think John Lester against the Rockies outside of Coors Field could be a pivot away from Jeff Samardzija. Lester I never play, but when he's 8K at home versus the Rockies, I think he does make sense. I usually never play Lester because he's always overpriced. But 8K is definitely a reasonable price. And then the other guy I like would definitely be Tanner Roark against the Pirates. I think you could also go to them. So besides Samardzija, I like these three pitchers right here, Taillon, Lester, and Roark. I think all of them are in play. And then under Roark, there really isn't a lot I love that I think I'm going to be going to today. So that's really it for pitcher. Now if we want to look at some bats for today and talk about some teams to stack. First off, my first hitter for today of my 3 hitters is going to be from first base. I really like Brad Miller today as a cheap value option. He's only 3K in a matchup with Jordan Zimmerman. I love the Rays today as a stack. They're very cheap, so they make a lot of sense if you want to go to Arrieta and maybe pay up for another pitcher. The Rays have cheap bats. They're in a great spot against Jordan Zimmermann, who just a pitcher that's not good, struggles to lefties. Love a lot of the lefties here from the Rays. I think Denard Span, obviously Miller, Joey Wendell, if you wanted to play him, batting sixth. Some good value in this lineup. These dudes are cheap. And the Rays have also been hitting the ball very well lately as a team. They've been just putting up runs night after night. So really like Brad Miller here, just 3K, a lot of power versus a pitcher that gives up home runs to lefties. I think he makes a lot of sense if you're looking for a cheap first baseman, only $3,000. And then my next two plays are both going to come from the Red Sox. This is another team I'm trying to get some exposure to today versus Jason Hamill. The first guy that I like is at third base, Rafael Devers. I feel like is a really good mid-range play at third base in a matchup with Hamill. Hamill, another guy that really struggles to lefties, gives up home runs. Devers has a lot of power. He's already hit 4 home runs in the year. We could definitely see him take Jason Hamill deep here. A lot of these lefties from the Red Sox I think are great plays today. Benintendi we will talk about. Devers I like. Even JBJ, you want to play him towards the bottom of that lineup. I think he makes sense if you're looking for a cheap play in the outfield. Then you can't go wrong with the plays at the top either. Mookie, if you want to play Hanley here, I think Hanley's got good BVP versus Jason Hamill. If we look real quickly, yeah, Hanley's hit Jason Hamill really well. 9 for 19 with a home run. I think Ramirez is in play. Mookie, obviously, like I said. JD, I think, is an option. Xander, 4.7 might be expensive, but this team has a lot of upside versus Hamill. He's a bad pitcher. The Red Sox, we know their lineup has a ton of upside in it. So I like Rafael Devers, 4,200. I think he makes a lot of sense at third base. And then my final play in the outfield, getting more exposure to the Red Sox, Andrew Benintendi, 4,400. Another guy I think makes a lot of sense here. Definitely has some power, hits righties well. And like I said, this pitcher, Jason Hamill, pitcher that struggles with lefties, gives up home runs to lefties. I believe Hamill is pretty bad at holding runners as well. You can steal on him. Benintendi does have some speed. So if he gets on base, definitely has the potential to steal some bases here. Just a lot of upside from Benintendi, and I think he makes a lot of sense. Another mid-range play. Just trying to get as much exposure to the Red Sox and Rays as I can today. Two teams that I really like. So Benintendi, Devers, both from the Red Sox, I think make a lot of sense. 42 and 4,400. But yeah, guys, these are my 5 plays for today. 5 guys that I like that you should be considering in some of your lineups. Jake Arrieta, Jeff Samardzija, Brad Miller, Rafael Devers, and Andrew Benintendi. Now if we want to look at some stacks for today and look at some of the teams that have the highest implied run totals on this slate. The 2 stacks for me are right here. Definitely the Red Sox number 1, the Rays number 2. I definitely like the Rays because they're cheap. They make good sense if you're looking for some value with Span, Cron, Gomez, Miller. These guys are dirt cheap. Then if you can fit in some of the Red Sox like Mookie, Benintendi, JD, Bogarts, Devers, another team that I really like for today. And then besides them, there isn't a lot that I'm looking just to fully stack. I think getting some exposure to the Brewers today, their righties versus Brandon Finnegan, I think it's a good option. Or those guys are good options like Kane, Braun, Domingo Santana. If you're looking for a cheap value play, he's only 3.2 versus Finnegan in Great American Ballpark. I think he makes a lot of sense in the outfield for some cheap value. But that's really it for stacks. For me, pretty much, it's the Rays and the Red Sox today. And then righties from the Brewers, I think, make a lot of sense. But yeah, that's really it for stacks and implied run totals. Now if we want to look at some BVP plays on this slate, there aren't a ton of BVP plays that have a high sample. None of the BVP plays on this slate have over 20 at-bat sample. We'll still talk about some of the ones that really catch my eye. Joey Votto, 6 for 18 versus Chassin with 2 home runs. Cody Bellinger's 5 for 12 with 2 home runs versus Zach Greinke. Not sure I want to play Bellinger today versus Greinke, but he does have the solid BVP if you were to do that. And Carlos Stanton's hit Charlie Morton really, really well. He's 9 for 18 with a home run, 500 average there. Some of these Phillies have hit Dan Straley well. Franco, 6 for 15. Abdul Herrera's 4 for 11. Nick Williams, 4 for 10. Maybe you could consider some of them because they've got some decent BVP. The only guy that's hit Samardzija well is Chase Headley, 5 for 15. And I doubt Chase Headley will even be in the lineup for today. I don't even think he's in the projected lineup. Yeah, he's not in the projected lineup, so Samardzija done really well against some of these Padres. A lot of them have done poorly versus Samardzija. Suahe's only 1 for 12. Hosmer's only 2 for 12. Margot's 0 for 10. So that kind of just makes me like Samardzija more than I already like him. But yeah, I think that's really it for BVP and PVB on this slate, guys. There's not a ton of sample. Well, if we do look at pitchers, there aren't any pitchers that have They have done really well, but pitchers that have done poorly, there are some that have struggled. Dan Straley struggled against the Phillies. They've hit him really well for a 358 average and 79 at bats. Jason Hamill has struggled against the Red Sox. They've hit Hamill well, 26 hits and 83 at bats, 4 home runs, 313 average. And then the Dodgers have hit Greinke well, 36 hits and 140 at bats, 257 average there. Half homer 10 times versus Zach Greinke, which is definitely surprising to me. Greinke really giving up a lot of power to the Dodgers. But yeah, guys, like I said, that's really it for BVP and PVB on this slate. Not a ton of BVP plays for it to be 10 games, or at least not a lot of plays with a high sample. But yeah, I think that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you did enjoy the video, just make sure you click that like button. It lets me know that you enjoyed. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe as well. And if you do have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT. Or you can just leave a comment down below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And good luck tonight on this slate, guys. Peace.